What's up, guys? I want to jump on here and talk to you guys about fishing before or after a storm, which is better, and if you're going to fish either one, what baits you should be using. So first things first, we'll talk about before the storm. So the pressure is going to be dropping right before the storm, and that is usually going to turn the bite on. So the oxygen in the water is going to drop as well. So with those dropping, the bite usually turns on. When the oxygen drops really low, those fish are going to come up to the surface to breathe, to get air. So a lot of top waters will work good as well. You can throw a spook, a buzz bait, even some frogs on that in that time frame. Other than the top water part, when the bite should just be kicking on, they're not going to be slow or lethargic. They're going to be wanting to feed. So finesse fishing, that goes out the window. So what you're going to want to do is find where they're at, because where they're at, they're going to be biting and aggressive. So my first bait I would throw would probably be a crankbait. So this is good natural shad color, blue and white, and that's going to dive down about 6 feet deep. That's not too shallow, not too deep, and that lets you cover water quick. So you're not just trying to find if they're in one area, fishing it real slow, because they're either there or they're not, and they're going to be biting. So that's a really good one. And what you got to remember as well is with those fish, they're not going to be most likely in the clear conditions. Most likely there's not going to be clear conditions at all right before a storm. So if you got wind and cover, definitely calls for a spinnerbait as well. Now this is a really good natural chartreuse color, and this is great for fishing cover. And if there's wind, clouds, and the water is just kind of got some movement into it, it's not very calm. Between a spinnerbait and a crankbait, most likely you're gonna get the fish on. And so with before the storm, you got the dropping barometric pressure, which turns the bite on. They're gonna be biting really good. As soon as the oxygen starts to drop in the water, those fish are gonna come up to the surface. So I mean, at first, crankbait bite could be really good, 6-8 feet deep. An hour or two later, they're going to be 2-3 feet deep. You got the spinnerbait, and then right before that storm, they're going to be getting breasts on top of the water. Throw a top water, a spook, a really good walking bait on the water will be really good. And after the storm. So first things first, cloud cover. If there's still clouds lingering around, the big fish are going to be out there. So with the barometric pressure rising, and that's going to kind of slow the bite down. But if there's still cloud cover, the big fish are going to be out, and that's whenever I would recommend kind of going for that Hail Mary. A really big swim bait like this would be really good. This is I forgot what it is. It's a shad, pink shad. It's got really good action on there. It's a really good big profile bait, 3.5 inches with a pretty big treble hook. That's going to be whenever you want to go out there and try and catch that 7-8 pounder. And before and after, I would also recommend kind of a swim bait like this. It kind of goes into the same boat as that crankbait. It allows you to cover a lot of water. Allows you to cover a lot of water and find where the fish are. And even this is kind of good in both conditions, whether there's a cloud cover or not. So between a swim bait and a crankbait, before and after, you're able to catch fish, but kind of look for the better bite being before, and afterwards kind of going for that Hail Mary big fish, not catching a lot of those 1.5 to 2.5 pounders that are usually feeding really aggressive right before the storm. So other than that, before, pressure dropping, really good bite. Oxygen's dropping, the fish are going to come up to the top. No finesse fishing. Afterwards, cloud cover is going to equal that big fish. Pressure rises. You're not going to catch them in as large as numbers, but if you throw that big swim bait, you might get that big fish you want. Thanks, guys.